Frank Fritz's store owner reveals plans to revamp American Pickers' Star's shop and feature bike display after his death. The American Pickers' Star's antique store, Frank Fritz finds, is located in the back room of Jerry Gendro's bar, Hog Dogs, in Savannah, Illinois. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Jerry revealed his plans to revamp the store in honor of his late friend. Jerry told the U.S. Sun, "We have been an antique store for 35 years. We'll probably continue to be that. We may display motorcycles and choppers that represent Frank. Right now it's set up as an 1880s general store. Maybe there'll be bikes on a rack all the way down the center. We're trying to contemplate what other people want me to do." Frank Fritz Fine sells small antiques from $35 oil cans to a $30 vintage typewriter. In one photo, a thick spider web lingered in a corner with bugs trapped in the silk. Dust, dirt, and dead leaves were collecting on the rundown floorboards. There were also gaping holes in the uneven floor paneling, and paint chips were curling off the ceiling. Despite the dim lighting in the shop, dust was still visible and gathering on several of the items. Frank wasn't as involved in the business after he suffered the stroke in July 2022 at his Davenport, Iowa home. Frank's friends filed an emergency appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the Star on August 18, claiming his decision-making capacity is so impaired from the stroke. The conservatorship papers obtained by the U.S. Sun revealed plans for the store during his health battle. The initial plan filed by conservator Midwest-owned bank read, "Mr. Fritz is a well-known collector and has numerous outbuildings full of valuable collections. The conservator has not yet inventoried those items, but plans to leave them largely as they are now, with the exception of stocking Mr. Fritz's antique store in Savannah, IL as needed. Conservator is hopeful Frank will be able to participate in selection and pricing of items as he did previously." The stroke left Frank wheelchair-bound. He can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances, a source previously told the U.S. Sun in August 2023. Basically, you lose motion. He lost motion. A stroke can affect your left or your right side. It affected his right side. Jerry previously gave insight into Frank's health struggles in recent months. He felt really, really bad, he told previously the U.S. Sun. You would go to see him in the nursing home, and one half of his body was completely done. He would lift his arm up, and it would just drop. That's got to be tough to be totally bedridden. Jerry explained how Frank grew frustrated because he couldn't come out and say what he wanted to say, though some days were much, much better than others. "I've seen this when people get tired. They get tired. I think if you don't have the will to live, you won't," Jerry said. "I think Frank could have lived a lot longer if the will to live would have been there." Frank left American Pickers in 2020 to undergo back surgery, but he never returned as he was officially let go in 2021. Frank revealed his feud with co-star Mike during an interview with the U.S. Sun in 2021. Mike and Frank ended their feud during his health issues and reunited over Memorial Day weekend of 2023. Mike was by his side in hospice when he passed, along with other loved ones. Jerry previously told the U.S. Sun how loved ones will honor the star's final wish to keep his memory alive. "My understanding at this point, and this was his will, he wanted to come on the back of a motorcycle or a sidecar with his ashes in an urn with a big ride and go back to the Quad Cities." Frank's final ride through the Quad Cities, which is a region of 4 cities in Iowa and Illinois, would take place in the spring. "We'll do anything we can for him," Jerry vowed. That's what he really wanted to do. Frank's conservator, Chris Davis, also revealed memorial plans for his beloved friend. He previously told the U.S. Sun, There will be a celebration of life in the future. It will be big. Fans can attend. Frank Fritz's shop, tucked away in the heart of Davenport, Iowa, had long been a hidden gem for enthusiasts of the antique, rare, and unique. The store, known to many simply as Frank's Finds, had become a sanctuary for pickers, collectors, and fans of the American picker's star. After his sudden passing, the shop felt like it was frozen in time. The atmosphere inside had grown somber, with dusty relics sitting quietly on the shelves, untouched by the bustling energy that Frank had once brought to his beloved space. But that's all about to change. The shop's new owner, Rob Donahue, a longtime friend of Frank's and fellow antique enthusiast, has decided to revitalize the store in a way that honors Frank's legacy while giving it a new lease on life. The plan, he revealed in a recent interview, is not just to reopen the store, but to transform it into a tribute to Frank's passions, particularly his love for motorcycles, something that he had been deeply passionate about throughout his life. Frank was never just a picker, Rob explained, standing outside the store, where the faded paint of the Frank's Find sign still lingered above the door. He was an adventurer. He lived for the thrill of the hunt, yes, but also for the stories that came with the items he found. And if there was one thing that always made his eyes light up, it was motorcycles. The plan, Rob shared, is to turn a portion of the shop into a full-scale bike display, featuring Frank's personal collection of motorcycles, alongside a curated selection of vintage bikes he had acquired over the years. The display, which will be called Frank's Ride, will not only showcase his love for these two-wheeled machines, but will also serve as a memorial to the man who had spent his life in search of the rarest, most interesting finds. Inside the shop, the transformation is already underway. Workers have begun clearing out a large section of the back room, where Frank had once stored some of his larger finds, old signs, rusty gas pumps, and a collection of jukeboxes in various states of repair. This space will soon house the bike exhibit, which Rob envisions as the centerpiece of the revamped shop. Frank was always more than just a TV personality. Rob said, his voice tinged with both sadness and pride. He was a friend, a mentor, and someone who genuinely loved what he did. I think this bike display will be a way for fans and visitors to connect with Frank in a personal way, to see what truly made him tick. The bikes themselves will range from classic Harley-Davidsons to rare, obscure brands that Frank had stumbled upon during his picking adventures. Rob pointed to a dusty Triumph motorcycle leaning against a wall. "This one here," he said, patting the leather seat, Frank found in a barn out in rural Illinois. It was buried under piles of hay, hadn't been touched in decades. He got it for a steal, and man, was he excited about it. The revamp won't stop with the bike display, though. Rob is also planning to breathe new life into the shop's other offerings. There will be new displays featuring some of Frank's most notable finds. Items that had either been featured on American Pickers or that Frank had kept for himself because of their personal significance. The goal, Rob said, is to create a space where visitors can walk through the shop and feel like they're stepping into Frank's world. "We're going to keep things authentic," Rob assured. "I want people to feel like Frank is still here, guiding them through the treasures he's gathered over the years. We'll have items tagged with little stories about where Frank found them, what they meant to him. It's going to be a celebration of his life and his love for this crazy world of antiques." One of the biggest changes, however, will be the introduction of an interactive component to the store. Rob plans to host monthly events where fellow pickers, collectors, and fans can come together to swap stories, trade items, and even bring in their own finds for appraisal. These events, dubbed Picker's Paradise, will turn the shop into a community hub for antique enthusiasts from all over the country.